Shout out to USARK and all USARK members. If you don't know what USARK is, don't be ashamed. Just go ahead and click the third link in the description below. See what USARK is all about, okay? You never know when legislations are going to hit your backyard, so that's why it's very important to consider becoming a USARK member today. These numbers really do matter, and they look at it for consideration when it comes to battling legislation. So first and foremost, thank you, Phil Goss. Thank you to anybody out there who partners up and volunteers with USARK organization. Thank you for anyone out there who's a USARK member. And if you can't become a USARK member today, please talk about it on your platforms. Let your neighbors know, let all your pet stores know what USARK is here for, and it's here to fight for our animal rights. Thank you to every USARK member and USARK supporter out there.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, coolest reptile network in the world. Episode 604, new breed on the block. Troy of Balls and Strike Pythons in the building. And of course, Big E Top G, Villarina Reptiles. Man, I feel like it's been a minute, bro. What's good?
It has, right? It has, man. How's everything?
Good. I feel like I've been thrown off for the last week or so just by me having that trip to Bob Vu's show, which was still an amazing show. But man, I forgot like how much adjusting comes into play when I don't know, I haven't left in a long time. It felt like my first trip ever, bro. Like, you know, but I'm good. I'm all right. I'm shaking and baking. What's up with you, man? How you living? You just vended or what?
Yeah, man. This month started off really slow. I've because you know winter's been rough, right? But man, the last 2.5 weeks have been phenomenal. So I've been super busy. Vended 2 straight weeks. It's been amazing, man. Lots of work, you know.
I got to give you your flowers, man. I had a lot of people come up to me at the Southeast Reptile Expo and mention how much they fuck with our Monday nights. They love it. They love big. Some guy came up and said, "Big E Top G, where's he at?" And I'm like, I don't know. And what's crazy, this dude breeds like blackhead pythons. He's not even a ball python guy, but he literally taps into all our Monday nights and he loves them. And so definitely had another reason why, like, you know, hopefully you could pull up to the next one.
Yeah,
you a lot of people ask about you for sure.
I want to go for sure. I get the same thing in Florida, man. Mad love for the trap, mad love for what we do, the information, how real we keep it. This weekend I had a bunch of guys, you know, a bunch of customers and you know, people that hit the show, you know, saying the same stuff.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for tonight's guest also because, you know, Troy, I actually got to finally meet Troy. We might have met before, but I actually like formally remember meeting the dude over the last weekend, not just past weekend, but the weekend before, obviously. And I was, you know, dawned on me because I've seen him around and I know he put in his work. I'm like, dude, how come this dude has not been on the show? Like, so I was like, fuck it. Well, you know, we prioritize this dude and put him on the list and got him on and he's ready and it's going to be a good show. You know anything about the homie Troy by chance?
He's got some amazing animals. I haven't personally met him, but his branding is amazing.
Yes.
Of course, I've seen him. I've seen his animals. It's someone I'm really looking forward to get to know a little bit. Been messaging here a little bit back and forth. You know, it's going to be a really good episode.
Really is, man. You guys are in for a treat. And I just want to remind you guys that Trap Talk Reptile Network has episodes every day of the week, Monday through Sunday. If you happen to listen to any of these podcasts on the audio platforms such as Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Also, guys, if you're looking for exclusive content, you want to get more out of what you see at each episode, then please come join the Trap Talk Patreon family. You could do that by clicking the very first link in the description below. A lot of cool things about to be approaching the Trap Talk Patreon family. And I also highly suggest if you're heavy on Instagram and you want to learn more about the ins and outs of the ball python game, no better place than the V Unit family subscription on Instagram. I think Emilio and I have been collaborating a bit, and we're definitely putting some stuff into motion for what we could do for both you guys as far as both families. So you guys are in for a treat. I hope you guys are ready because we're not messing around. So I just want to say thank you to all the love and support. Do you want to say anything to your VNet members out there?
Thank you for always holding us down, supporting us and always being here. We, at the end of the day, we're a family, both families, and, each side, we take care of each other, man, at the end of the day.
Mad respect. And also mad respect to tonight's sponsor, the Reptile Breeder Show, thrown by KG&D of the Bomb Project. This is going to be the second annual Reptile Breeder Show happening in downtown Los Angeles, March 1st. Okay, it's going down this Saturday. Oh my God, it's already happening this Saturday. I didn't even tell Lily shit. And anyways, I'll be there. I'm going to be pulling up. Reptile Breeder Show is going to be something you don't want to miss if you're in the SoCal area. Go to reptilebreedershow.com. Get your tickets. Only $10 to get into this show. And it's definitely a really cool private event that I highly recommend pulling up to, okay? Also give them a follow on Instagram as well, the Reptile Breeder Show on IG. So thank you so much, KG&D. Looking forward to pulling up to your guys' event for the second time. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by Clutch, #1 ball python organization app in the game. Cutting edge, way to get ahead of anything else that's competitive in the ball python world. There's a lot of competition, but I'll tell you what, you will look like you're ahead of the game by using Clutch, all right? A lot of big things happening with Clutch, and thank you so much, Sebastian, Justin, Summer, the entire Clutch team doing mad work. Thank you so much for your support, and yeah, looking for big things to announce with Clutch here in the near future. Also, if you are tapped in worldwide to the ball python game, then you know who Morph is. Definitely one of my favorite European breeders in the game. Please head over to progmorphs.com, see what projects they have going in their direction, and also see the amazing productions that they've already produced. You can also follow their work on Instagram as well. You can find all the links in the description below. Definitely also one of my favorite families in the game is the Rice Reptiles. Thank you so much, Rice family, for sponsoring the trap. I appreciate all the hard work that you're putting in. Billy has been putting out the vlogs heavily, and I gave him mad props over at the Southeast Reptile Expo. So not only can you guys now follow Rice Reptiles on IG, you can also subscribe to their YouTube channel and really tap into their projects, see what's next for the Rice Reptile family, and also be ready for Channing, their daughter, who is coming out with her own brand herself. So a lot of things be coming out of the Rice Reptiles. And so thank you so much, Rice Reptiles. Go check them out on IG and check them out on YouTube, like I said. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by RGI, #1 in the skin shed testing game. So many cool things coming with RGI this year. A lot of major announcements. All right. Prices have been cut also down. Very affordable right now. So make sure you head over to their Instagram, Rare Genetic Inc. on IG, and also on their YouTube. And, stay on top of their Tuesday and Wednesday updates that they put out on their YouTube channel. So thank you so much, Sean and Ben and the entire RGI family. And again, man, thank you to anyone who's tapped in. If you think that today's episode is worth any super chats in the live chats, man, please, if you have a topic, question, do not be shy. Drop it. All right. I'm ready. You ready to bring on Troy or what? It's game time.
Do this.
All right. You guys know the deal. Episode 604 coming at you right now. Do what you got to do to get your mind right. Do what you got to do to stay hydrated. We have Troy, Balls and Strike Pythons coming at you right now. Let's go. Choo!
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, God, love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it.
And we're live, episode 604 with Troy, Balls and Strike. Hey, Troy, I see you bobbing your head, buddy. I saw you bobbing.
Kind of dancing to the music, man.
I like that. My man, what is up, Troy? Welcome to Trap Talk, buddy.
Hey, yeah, thank you. Finally made it on with you guys.
Finally.
Appreciate it. Thank
And
you so much for having me on.
What's up, big dog? Nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, man.
What's
Been
awesome?
enjoying our conversations.
What's awesome, Troy, is I got to meet you at at the Southeast Reptile Expo, but then saw your work. Bob had nothing but great things and was actually proud to have someone like you vending at his show. So how's it feel overall to be even where you're at? And I don't even know when you came in, so we could get to that as also, but to kind of get recognized by some of the best in the game. How's that feel?
Just being at Southeast and being a part of that show kind of speaks volumes to me.
Yeah.
Kind of the level of appreciation and kind of loyalty I think that a lot of guys have. And honestly, I wouldn't be where I am at all without Bob Vu. So, but I will say this though, walking around Sear and just walking from one table to the other, like, you start over, like I started over like Chris Hernan's table and then walk by Muscles and Geeks and just amazing animals. And you go around the corner and there's Rice Reptiles with Canova and you're just like, oh my gosh. Then you go around the corner and there's Kittinger and you're just like, oh my God. Kind of starting to feel a little insecure, kind of looking at their stuff. You're like, golly.
Yeah. And I want to ask you that, Troy, like, how's that feel? Like, was that intimidating to you? You feel like, or?
Yeah, it always is. I mean, and then you walk back there to Leviathan's table and Winston's got the most fire animals I think I've ever seen in my life. And I'm just like, holy moly, man. Just it's either going to have two effects on you. One, it's going to motivate you, or two, you're just going to be like, fuck this, I quit. Hey, like, I can't get to there,
Emilio, the shit that was at the show was no joke. Okay, there was heat. Okay,
major
had heat, table after table after table. You had amazing stuff, Troy. You know what I mean? As much as you're giving props to everyone else, like you came correct as well. But can you, for the record, state when you came into the ball python game, Troy? How long has it been now?
I got my breeding or
just like business, like balls and strike pythons. Like how long has that been a thing?
Balls and strikes became kind of officially a thing about 6 years ago. This is probably my fifth full-on season, real breeding season this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I got I wasn't one of those guys, I always loved reptiles. I had snakes and all that, playing with.
I'm glad you're honest.
That was never me. I was gifted my first snake, a ball python that I didn't even want. But I knew if I left it where it was going to die. I'm an animal lover. I took it home. They didn't even know what kind of snake it was. So, then you do a deep dive because I wanted to know how to take care of it so it wouldn't die on me.
Wow.
So, I spent a while kind of just searching. I came across Brian Barczyk, and then that went down that rabbit hole and just absolutely fell in love with Brian's channel. But honestly, Brian's channel is great entertainment. Love to watch Brian. But there really wasn't always the best advice on keeping, breeding, all that.
Yeah, and he was very old school.
Yeah. The channel I found that I kind of really, for a long, long time, hadn't, I guess my process is I found Gavin from Balls to You on YouTube.
Dude, that was one of my...
That changed everything.
Okay, Troy, I'm going to stop you because how simple was he at explaining things? Like, because you saw a lot of people like with gimmicks and like, blah, 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 blah. And it's kind of like, whoa, it's like more on the entertainment side. Gavin, when I had my very first ball python clutch, I would obsess over how to incubate a ball python clutch on that video. Must have watched it maybe 1 million times, even though like I already clutch is already in. I'm still watching the video, and I always gave Gavin his props, his flowers. Like, dude, you were the first one to connect with me where like I'm actually coming here for educational purposes. So crazy you mentioned that because you were right at the cut of COVID. You were 2019, 2018 is when you're coming in. Right? From what I
when I started kind of breeding, my first couple clutches was 2019. 2020, I think I was at like 12 to 14, something like that.
Mm.
And then it kind of increased for a while. Last year we did 33, which was down from 44, 46, something like that the year before. But this year's going to be crazy, probably on track for about 70. Woo! And that's way more than I want to do, but man, we're road warriors. We do a lot of shows. We got 18 shows on the schedule for this year again. So you kind of got to have the animals to go with it. But
dude,
we're kind of, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say Emilio fucking pulled it off last year. So, I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead. Continue. I'm sorry.
I did 30 last
30 shows?
28 shows.
Oof.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah.
But, before we continue down that path of production and shows and all that, what was that first trait, that genetic mutation that like captivated you, bro? Like after you got that animal, put it into your care, and you got into Brian's channel and then into Gavin's, what was that first genetic trait that kind of like blew your fucking mind?
So very, very, very early on, after I got my first snake, you run into that. Okay, now how I'm going to feed this thing. So I found these people that didn't live I was in Kentucky at the time, and they lived down in Bardstown, and they bred rodents. They even supplied like the zoo and all in Louisville and stuff like that. So I went down to their place, and a good friend of mine now, he had his animals at their place. He had a rack of them. And the first snake that just blew my mind was, it was a hypo clown combo. I didn't even know that was even a thing. It was unbelievable. And that was Mike Cano from Fable Creations. Nice. And his collection just, even back then, was just like holy moly.
I haven't heard that name in a long time. What's up with Fable Creation? They still around?
Oh yeah. Mike was at Sear. He was walking around at Sear. I actually traded him for one of his snakes. He had a beautiful stranger, had hypo female clown, and man, yeah. So he wanted something on my table, and we made a trade, and I was thrilled to get her. So, but yeah, he's doing great, man. They're doing good.
What a feeling, right? To make a trade with someone that you really look up to like that.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. He actually, so his wife actually got a snake from me recently. She bought a banana leopard G-stripe female that I made because she loves some G-stripe stuff. So. Right. So that was nice, when people that you kind of really look up to and admire their work, when they pick up an animal from you. To me, that's just a major compliment, and just a little tip of the cap that I'm doing things the right way, or can create stuff that other people want, and I guess that's what it's really all about most of the time. So
I think those are the kind of home runs any new breeder should bank on. Like as far as like if you want to know if your projects are headed the right direction, well, if you got big dogs who want to trade with you, or even just want to go to your table and buy one. I mean, I don't want to give specifics because the guy told me to specifically not to mention details, but there was a guy at the Southeast Reptile Expo, and I have a vlog that's coming out saying, are people really making money at the Southeast Reptile Expo? And he couldn't believe it. He had like a look of shock on his face because somebody came in, big dog, came in, wanted the snake on his table. It was like 12 grand, paid it just like that. And then cash. There it is.
I was saying, I saw him. I was there. Whoa. I saw him pulling out $100 bills. Just boop, 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 boop. I won't say who it was or what they got, but wow.
I was like, that's what I'm fucking talking about. So that's the thing. Like, in order to get to that point, you got to have your own vision. Like, you have to want your own goals in this game and not be repetitive. And that's a lot easier said than done because, I want to ask you how you felt you were pitched certain projects coming into this, Troy, because, I don't know, some people do get thrown the pipe dream, and then it's unfortunate because they have no other vision but what they're being told and they stick to that. And No diversity, but for you, what was it like? I'm curious.
Oh man. Okay, so I made every mistake you could make when I first got in. You get in, like, so I kind of posted a little thing about this today, but it's kind of, I'm going to weave here a little bit in and out, but
no worries.
So I got my first snake very, very late 2016. I got to go to Tinley Park. I discovered that and went March 2017. And that was really, I mean, could you imagine Tinley Park being your real first reptile expo or show you ever go to?
Yeah.
You know, walking around, I was so morph drunk. Like, I probably walked around, my mouth probably didn't close for 2 days. I was just, wow, you know. So, but, you know, at the same time, so my son at the time, who was very young, he's just getting ready to graduate high school now. I took him with me, and a few tables that I went to, like I was just admiring stuff on the table, like crazy things. Like back then, the higher the white on the pied, the more expensive it was. It like completely like opposite way it is now.
What a time.
Right? So, but there was several tables I stopped at that some of the vendors wouldn't give me the time of day, and to go by other tables, you know, like when JSA or Garrick DeMeyer's table, Royal Constrictor Designs, those guys, and even Ozzy stopped to take time to talk to me and really answer like super novice questions. And once I was able to interact with guys like that, a lot of stuff started changing for me. But I made the big mistakes. You know, I wanted every different, I don't have that morph. I don't have that gene. I don't have that gene. And, you know, I feel like I did kind of get taken advantage of a little bit because, you know, early on, I did buy quite a few animals that turned out to not be what they were sold to me as. Like one of the very first things I wanted to make, I saw Billy from Mutation Creation. I saw his incredible freeways. I was like, man, and super asphalts. So I wanted to make one of those. So I bought a couple animals that were sold to me as asphalts and paired them up, and, you know, ivories pop out and you're like,
son of a bitch.
Yeah, there you go. To this day, I've never made a super asphalt. I've made freeways now, but this season will probably be the first time I'll make a super asphalt, and hopefully it's a visual clown as well.
Yeah, you're unlocking a lot of memories right now, core memories, because for me, like what it was like, obviously I had that entry level pied banana love for shit, but then once I came across highways and freeways, and then you put them together, I was like, holy shit. And this is 2017, where like, I can't even tell you the prices on these. I know. Yeah, I remember there was a gravel, okay, and somebody was on Craigslist locally trying to sell gravel to me that completely looked like a normal. You wanted like $1,200 for the gravel, and I'm like, I was like, I'm not buying that piece of shit. I was like, there's no way and then he like kind of schooled me, and then I realized that gravels could look basic and normal shit until you look at the belly, right? And mind you, like the trained eye starts to realize like what has gravel in it, what doesn't. But still, it does get tricky. Thank God for RGI and the testing that you could do nowadays, because there was a lot of those motherfuckers who are riding that whole like, oh, it's gravel, it's not yellow belly, bro. I'm sorry, but sometimes you just cannot predict that shit.
Bro, guys, when it comes to the yellow belly complex, even some of the big dogs that had the most experience with it back in the day, they wouldn't guarantee you a yellow Spectre belly, or, you know, this and that. It's right. So you got to be careful with those, right? And then at the end of the day, we have to tell the truth. A lot of people out there can't ID even stuff that's obvious. Imagine,
man, there's some big dogs out there right now that can't ID yellow belly to save their life.
Yeah, imagine yellow belly complex stuff. You know,
because I'm gonna tell you right now, you know, we're sponsored by RGI, and we've had some shed testing done, and I'm gonna tell you what, man. I got some animals that, now the funny thing is most of the animals, when I got them, the genes that are in them look so good. There's such high quality examples of those genes. Yeah, I didn't even argue. Like, yeah, it looked like it got it in there to me too.
But also that changes your whole direction with the animal now that it's a yellow belly,
yes.
and but
or it's not.
yeah, but I don't know. Okay, can we get your opinion, and you too, Emilio? Like, what does the seller have to do at that point? Like, first and foremost, did you even feel like you should tell something to them, Troy, or did you? I mean, and this is advice for anyone out there who's in that position right now, too. You know.
So, out of respect for a couple of them, I will say something about it. A couple of them, let's just say there's guys out there that'll bend over backwards to make something right. And then there's been other guys that, oh, no, yeah, so sorry about your luck. Yeah, sorry about that. Or won't even say that. Be like, oh, yeah, that happens.
That doesn't cut it.
I've had those responses.
Fuck that. Oh, my God.
All I can tell you is the guys that were like, oh, yeah, that happens sometimes. I've never bought another animal from them. I can tell you that right now.
And that's your damn right. That's a right decision to do right there. But hold on. Like, what should somebody out there, I don't know, man. Like, not everyone can take losses like others. Like, some people, God bless them, they spend all their fucking hard work money on this animal. You know what I mean? I for the first time, sold something that didn't have chocolate in it. And it was a snake that I bought that said that it had chocolate in it. So I sold it how it was sold to me. But then I was like, he was pretty pissed. And like, it was upsetting to where I was like, bro, you know what? Keep that fucking snake. Here's your money back. Like, I would be pissed too. Hey, dude, mind you, it was the wrong sex. It was a double whammy. I fucked up big time. So it was the wrong sex. And it didn't have chocolate. And I felt so embarrassed because, like, you know, there was a couple of things I could have done. I could have tested the snake because I kind of thought, you know, does this have chocolate in it? If there's any kind of doubt, you should have tested the snake. And I always normally resex or like reconfirm the sex as I'm shipping the snake. And I remember shipping out like 8 snakes that day, and I just didn't. So, but all you got to do is take it right. And, I mean, take care of it. And if you take care of it, it's done with. It's like, there's no coming back from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But some people don't get that. They don't grasp that part of what we do, you know?
Stuff's going to happen. It's how you react and, you know, fix the problem, right? Yes. Getting back to the IDing, I think a lot of new people and even some people with time, I think they should really go in and study these combos and go into Morph market and go into the sold column.
Hold on, Amelia. Hold on. Going into Morph market ain't always the best idea because, man, after being hooked up with RGI now and doing some shed testing,
it's a lot of wrong stuff.
Almost every single page I will go on, there's at least one that's mis-ID.
No, you're not wrong about that. But what I'm saying is that you got to go in there and really look and analyze and really
and see where people are fucking up at.
You need to study these combos. Like
yes.
That people need to train the eye. It's not that hard. So,
but guys, we're talking about an eye that needs to be trained by your own fucking experience.
Yeah, like,
you could go crazy on YouTube. You can look at stuff visually over the phone, but unless this shit's hatching out in front of you, that's where your eye really grasps how to look at things. Other than that, you're not. I
get that, but are you obsessed?
Right.
Okay. If you're obsessed, you go in there and you look at as many potential combos as you can and to try to train your eye. Okay, what does yellow belly do? What does gravel do? How does it interact with this? Bro, are you obsessed? Go in there and freaking learn and not just take someone's
word for
it, bro. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
especially
not you guys,
especially when you're going to invest.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to okay, so when I started, man, I was paying child support on 4 kids.
Damn.
Like, I didn't have money. I'm telling you, like, I was just a cat. I was just a CT tech.
Damn.
Like, I was literally, man, that's probably why I gained so much weight now. Because years ago, man, people had leftovers at work from somewhere. I'd be like, hey, you going to eat that? Man, because I didn't have money to buy shit. Or I was saving every penny I had. Man, it took me like 4 months to save up to buy the first clown I ever got, and it was only like $400 or $500.
Yeah,
you know, shout out Matt Lee at ML Exotic. That's who I bought my first clown from at Tinley, and thank God he was perfectly healthy, great animal. Ended up siring some clutches for me, but that's neither here nor there. But man, it was tough. It was tough going for a long time for me. I'm like living proof that you can start with basic genetics, and if you can stick with it, because I've never really had that much money to put in. I put in what I can when I can. you know, now that all the kids are off the payroll, you know, I got a little bit more freed up, and you know, a lot of the snakes and stuff we're making now is allowing me to reinvest more and more each year. But man, I had to really kind of take the long road for a little while, and like for a long time, like every clutch I had, that's why I did so many shows. I maybe had a handful of holdbacks the first 2-3 seasons because I was selling everything and then going over to Bob's or looking on Morph Market trying to see what Justin's got that was in my price range that fit a project I really wanted to do, you know, or different guys, you know, that I could afford the next animal, you know. So I was selling off entire clutches as quick as I could, taking that money and either buying more snakes or or reinforcing the infrastructure by buying, you know, rodent racks or snake racks and all that kind of stuff. So
now, Troy, I got to ask you, with as much as what you're talking about seems like a lot of work, obviously, right? But was this like a therapeutic thing for you? Like, was this was this making you help dealing with your real life shit? Like, okay, because how much you were geeking out over this stuff? That's how it was for me. I came in this game the brokest I've ever been. Like, I had no money, like zero money, but all I could do is, like when Mila said, I obsessed over it, and year after year I just kept obsessing. Was it kind of like that for you as well, as far as like how it feels to be around all these cool animals and stuff?
Yeah. So when I first got in, I mean, I was single, I was divorced, you know, father of 4, and sitting there, you know, man, the snakes were like my oasis. Yeah, it was definitely my obsession, and went down that rabbit hole. And you know, and then, you know, of course, obviously, like everybody, you know, I've made some bad purchases. Like, I think in the first year and a half, man, I think I had like 12 males and 3 females. I mean, what? What the hell? Like, that ain't gonna work. And so literally like that following, like 2 years in, man, I go down to Nashville to Repticon, and I meet Bob Vu. And I'm looking at some of the animals on Bob's table, and he starts asking me what I got. And he was finally like, wait a minute, you got what? Okay, how many males? And he goes, all right, man, you might as well just sell it all. Keep your favorite 1 or 2, sell everything else. Let's start over. And he was like the first guy to tell me about projects and breeding and how to kind of to do things. Because at the time, man, like I said, that first beautiful orange ghost, you know, that I saw, I was like, ooh, oh my God, I gotta have that.
That was my first morph. So the very first morph snake I bought was on Craigslist, $75. Okay, I told the story so many times. It was an orange ghost. It was an orange ghost Mojave. I still have it. Actually, it's a pastel Mojave orange ghost. Emilio's seen it. Gorgeous.
Mine was a yellow belly orange ghost, dude. That was my very first real morph. That I just was like, wow, I gotta have that.
Yeah, dude.
So,
gotta love it.
So yeah, man. I mean, thank God man. So at the time as well, thank goodness I didn't have the money to invest at the time. But the big thing, like scaleless was just coming in to be like the next big thing, and everybody wanted like $10,000-$20,000 for these scaleless ball pythons.
I'm so glad, because I'll never forget seeing the first scaleless cut video. Remember when Brian Barczyk cut the scaleless, and I was like, he was like in a closet or weird little incubator, and I was like, what the fuck? And I remember forgetting, not forgetting that video until I saw people buying scaleless and they were posting how they would shed. Once I saw that, I was like, there's something wrong there, and I'm not fucking with that. Emilio could speak on that for sure.
Let me say this, bro. In 2016, 17, I got into the project just in case it blew up. Right? I didn't want to be left behind. Bro, that's the worst project I ever bought into. I made all my money back and I made a profit. Okay?
Man, there was a few big dogs that lost everything.
Yeah, for sure. I got in fairly cheap, and I produced animals, sold animals, lost animals. I made a profit, but it's the lowest profit I ever made on any genetic trade I got into. I'll tell you that.
Lowest profit, man.
I was so happy.
So did you got in the black? Because if you were not in the red, you did better than most everybody that bought.
No, I made money, but it was very low net. Yeah. But I'll tell you, it's the worst gene that I've ever worked with.
Yeah,
hands down.
Damn, so many people dodged the bullet, but then so many people didn't. Like, it's
Some people
I
invest
had
in
repeat
so much.
customers. I had repeat customers of mine that wanted a scaleless that I had, and I said, and I even warned them about everything.
Yeah,
they still bought it.
Yeah. I had a less than a year ago, I had a Patreon guy who he joined at the highest tier, and he was like spilling his guts on what he wants to bring back. And he told me, he's like, I'm gonna make scaleless ball pythons so popular. I'm like, tell me. He's like, and he's gonna make spiders pop it. And I was like, at some point I need to stop you, buddy. But you know what? Live your dream. Go for it. I haven't heard from him ever since. I was like the one-on-one conversation.
Yeah. Unwrapping a condom every fucking 3 weeks was stupid as hell.
It just
that shit would, the shed would get stuck in the middle of the body every 3 weeks.
It just didn't look right.
And if you did it at the wrong
didn't
time,
feel right either. Even holding them, it's like, oh my god. The first time I held it, I was thinking, man, this thing feels like a ball sack or something. That's so weird.
If you did it at the wrong time, you hurt the animal.
Right.
If you tried to help it shed at the wrong time, you hurt the animal and it gets fucking all fucked up.
Looking like a shaved nutsack.
God bless. God bless, bro.
But listen, like, okay, like, I don't know. Have you ever had to pop any bubbles, Troy, for anyone out there who had this crazy, like, okay, they just got in and they think they see something, but it's kind of like, yo, slow down. Like, it's definitely not what you think that is, you know?
But man, sometimes they don't listen.
Oh, no.
Sometimes they don't listen, man. You try. Like, okay, so, like, Bob did me a favor by basically like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, let's get you on the right track. Bob was literally, I see he's in the chat now too. Bob was the first guy to ever tell me, I'm not selling you that snake. That's not right for, like, what are you trying to do? Like, that's not what you need.
That's what's up.
Dude walked me over to Dave Levinson's table, who was at that show, and was like, that's what you need for that project. Bob didn't even have the animal. Walked me to somebody else's table at Dave Levinson's table, and I bought the animal from Dave Levinson at that show.
100% Dave owed Bob money.
He probably did. He probably did. Now that you mentioned it, that's probably facts right there.
Oh, they're good. They're good buddies, you know. But at the end of the day, like, that's what Bob does, you know, like, because you know, Bob comes from the sales background that, like, his game plan is longevity, like having the person always come back to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And one thing Bob does is make sure that person's taken care of. Like, it's, you know, and that's important. Like, I don't know. And for Bob to be like that, even back then, where he was still building a name for himself, you know what I mean? But what happens is people feel like they need to get into this greedy stage and like hoard their customers. And I'm like, dude, you ain't going to work out like that. Like, you got to let them go do their thing and they'll come. Like, if they need something from you, they know where to go. But that whole, like, the old school way of pressuring people not to go spend money with others, like, oof, man, I'm glad Bob's not that type of person, you know?
No, he's not. Bob is one of those guys, kind of like even Billy from Mutation Creation and several others. The guys that you can tell genuinely want you to do well.
Yeah.
They will bend over backwards to make sure you do well, because if you're doing well, guess what? You're going to keep going back to them and they're going to keep doing well.
Yeah.
So,
dude, we're not a big hobby. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, first and foremost, everybody talks. So if you are this guy trying to talk anything in a customer's ear, that customer's going to spill the beans. Like, they're going to tell, hey, you know that this breeder is saying this about, like, that's why I feel like it's crazy how, like, this whole, like, mentality is still a thing, because, dude, people squeal on you. Like, it's all in the open. You know what I mean? And it's just a matter of time where people connect the dots. And, you know, I don't know. Like I said, everybody votes with their dollar at this point in the
absolutely
state. You know what I mean? But like I said, you gotta let people do their thing.
To go back to your question, though, so I'm not a guy that's going to be so blunt with people. Like, if they ask my opinion, I'm going to give it to them.
Yeah.
But I'll probably say, you don't want that. Or I will be like, I wouldn't do that, and this is why. But I'm not going to be like, you know, no, you shouldn't do that, and blah, blah, blah. Because if they really, really want it, they're going to get it anyway, then you just kind of seem like an asshole. I mean, not that I'm not an a-hole sometimes. I try really hard not to be. But as I get older, I try to be a little bit more tactful and avoid the drama and understand that everybody likes different stuff, which is the beauty about ball pythons, man. There's a little bit of something for everybody. If you can't find a ball python, morph or coloration or combo that you don't like, then man, move over to geckos or chameleons or something. But
that's you know what, that's a really good, because you know, I remember people coming to me. I don't have a threshold for this much anymore, but like people tell me like what projects should they get into, and you spill your heart out about like what you feel like is like the direction to go with certain things, and then what not to go. Like, you know, for instance, like don't get 2 snakes that have yellow belly or something. Like you're trying to preach like till you turn blue in the face, and they'll still fucking do it. They'll still go buy 2 yellow bellies. They'll do it no matter what. If they want to do it, they're gonna do it.
Yeah. Sorry, sometimes most times they don't listen. You just try to give them. You try to give them the best info you can. Man, you suck.
He does not suck. I've seen this guy in action. Bob is full of shit. He does not suck at throwing snakes. That Bob, now you're stretching it too thin.
There's people that would joke that my building out here is Bob's Balls East. There's so many of his animals that are out there. So don't let him fool you. I remember seeing Bob, and Bob, this is the era when you're wearing the drug fanny pack, the dare to stay off drugs fanny pack, like a fluorescent color one. And I remember just seeing this guy in the distance, just like probably selling to like 3 different people at his table and just delegating. I want to think this is even before he had a full-on team. Maybe it was just him and Chris or just one other person. But I seen this guy shake and bake at his table, and this motherfucker can move. Bob, he's impressive. I seen him. Not just Bob, his guys are amazing as well. And Josh too. Sure. Like all of them, they're on it.
Yep.
To me, the table I see that's the most energetic in business, on point, on their game, it's Bob's table. There's no way around it, bro.
Yeah.
Stop being so humble, brother.
I think a lot of people laughed at that one.
Yeah, hey, so inspiring. Everything you've done, bro, is beyond.
Listen, I wouldn't be where I am today without Bob. Like, that's no joke.
Yeah,
I mean, this guy invited me to his home, which is actually 2 homes ago, where he had this outbuilding in the backyard of his house, invited me over. And, you know, so I go in there and I'm awestruck at that. And now he's leveled up twice since. But there was a few animals I really wanted. And at this time I'd bought quite a few animals from him already. But I could, the ones I wanted, I really couldn't afford. And Bob really literally just handed me the animals, and he's like, yeah, you know, you're good for it. Just pay me when you got it.
So look, let's connect the dots on this real quick, Troy. You know, you're talking about how Bob's team overall, how solid they are at a booth, right? But now they're working with him at the show. And like, what's your overall take on like the way the entire staff delegates things at the Southeast Reptile Expo? I want to say one of the most smoothest looking shows I've seen ran, with how many people are actually helping vendors. But what do you have to say about like the entire team Bob has going on over there?
So the show itself is by far the best show I've ever vended, been associated with, as far as venue and his staff.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All his guys are unbelievable. Mary, unbelievable. All of them.
Mary, we have to give Mary her props. Mary's gangster, bro. She was holding it down that weekend for sure.
Yeah, Mary, even at the first Seer show that we did, I mean, Mary would come by at least 3 or 4 times a day. Hey, you guys okay? You need anything? Can I do anything for you? But Trav would come by and do this. I mean, all his guys they are always making sure everything's on the up and up. So, but great show, great turnout. Honestly though, like, so Saturday going into Sunday, I thought, oh geez, man, we better. I mean, so a lot of factors, animals that we had at the show, so many amazing vendors at the show.
Yeah.
But on Sunday, I told Mario, I was like, man, this might be like the first show in 3 years we're going to take an L on. And then late Sunday, we had not 1, but 2 really big sales where it was financially actually one of the best shows we've ever done. But it came off 2 snakes.
Sunday was a game changer for you?
Sunday at 2:00, we sold 1 for $5K, and then about an hour later, we sold another for like $3K.
There you go. Just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that. That's good to hear. Because okay, let's kind of bring up this topic, okay? Because listen, I feel like There's nothing wrong if you want volume and you have a passion for vending. We need more good vendors out there, right? But people don't understand the competition that they're in sometimes. And I want to know, how you ended up powering through that weekend, because Saturday wasn't as good as the day as Sunday. I remember we spoke a little bit, and you're kind of like, damn it, like, location was a thing you were thinking about, and you just weren't too sure, right? I
did tell you though. I'm in the building. It's my job to sell the animals.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in the building with so many of the best breeders in the country.
Yeah.
So it was my job to sell the animals. And Jay and Lizzie from JLP Morphs had the table right next to me on the end cap, and they did great. But they had the right animals people were looking for, and I didn't. You know, so, and this is kind of a slow time of year for us. We've done a lot of shows. We've literally sold a lot of, the snakes that really do well in that show environment, to the point where, other vendors made our show. Other vendors that wanted what we had made our show. And that's okay. And all it does take sometimes is that 1 or 2 sales. And just like even Bob just said it, like, it can make or break your whole show, 1 or 2, but at the same time, to make that much money at like a Repticon that we normally do, hell, we would have had to sell 30 animals, 20, 30 animals at $150 to $400 a piece to make, to get up to that much money. So,
right.
But,
but
there were many times at the show though, where I did kind of feel a little frustrated, because from where we were, I could see down the aisles, and at the other end of the show, kind of where the doors were, like, it was packed down there. And then down where we were, there was like literally nobody walking by for a while. But so another thing it allowed me to do though on Saturday especially was I was able to walk around, and I don't get to do that very often. So it worked out well. It did work out well. It was just a little discouraging at first when you walk in and you see where you were, that, because at the last year's show, we were right up front. We were right next to Justin.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the best places you can be, because people will, look at Justin's table or Rice Reptiles and be like, wow, and they see the numbers on them. Then they come over to our table and, okay, that's more affordable, so we had a great show. So this show, in the last couple hours of the show, though, we eclipsed that first show monetarily. But before that, I mean, yeah, we were staring an L square in the face. But again, you just never know what's going to happen. You just never know what's going to happen.
That's why, as people continuously, the audience, they start vending, you learn that you have to be patient throughout the whole process, because
absolutely,
you can't just stress yourself out. You have, if Saturday's bad, you have Sunday.
That's
if
right.
Sunday morning is bad, you have the rest of Sunday.
But you know what though? That whole show, all day Saturday, Sunday, guarantee you nobody walked by my table without me saying hello. How's it going?
Right.
Anything I can answer, any questions, whatever. I'm gonna greet everybody that comes by that table. So, and
there's such a power with people getting a sale after the show too, which right. Ideally you want to close the sale right then and there. But man, I've sold 2-3 snakes after a show from somebody
that happened this week.
Yeah, you get the time of day, and it's like, man, it's all about reps, man. You get your reps, and you just do what you do because that's what you need to do, and you get your home runs. And like, man, it's as long as you. Here's the thing, Troy. Like, and that's why I want to ask you. Like, should somebody wait until they have something that they can compete with heavy at their table before they vend? Because I don't know. Let's say you had nothing but blue-eye Lucy's or pieds, right? Maybe you would have done okay, but I don't know. That I think people. Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, and here, okay, so. I know I've heard you speak on this before, and I somewhat disagree with you on some of the things you've said about this, because if you want to do shows, if you're willing to do the grind and you don't have much money and you want to get in, number one, make sure, I 100% agree with you, MJ, on this. Make sure you can feed those animals and take care of them, because if you can't, don't bother. Yeah. But if you're going to put in the time, you're going to put in the effort, you pay attention to genetics, you can, I'm telling you right now, you can sell the hell out of some bananas, pieds, bells all day long at shows. You can make some money and keep leveling up. I know for a fact, because I've done it. I know it can be done. Is it the long road? Yeah. Two things in this hobby that are just so glaringly obvious. Time is money, and money can save you time. So if you got money, you can save so much time and get to that upper level so fast. But if you don't have that much money and you have time, you can make it too. It's going to take you longer, but you can get there.
I want to
definitely get there.
I want to reverse what I just said because I used terrible examples. I already know pies and bells are fucking money makers at any show. But hold on, there's not people who are coming into the investment side of things that are making pies and bells. What they're trying to do is they're trying to make this top end tough. So what happens is they got a lot of stuff that they don't need that they're trying to get off, and they can't let it go. So I'm wondering if you are looking to be on the more higher end investment side of things. I mean, is it always smart to at least always have bells or pies or something eye grabbing, which obviously it should be, right? Like you should consider being good at selling low end stuff before you should be like focusing on selling high end stuff. You think? I'm just trying to find like a good place for people to get into this where they're not ahead of themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think people should, in the very beginning, moderate a little bit until you know how good at sales you are. Like not everybody comes into the hobby as a salesperson. Not everybody, sold insurance or whatever and know how to have a rapport immediately, to sell somebody on something. Because in this hobby, most of the time you're selling something that people are already wanting anyway. Yeah. You just have to sell yourself why they need to buy it from you.
Yeah.
Listen, I think the best way forward for a lot of people is to have a diverse collection
in the beginning. Yeah, but I'm going to tell you right now, there's actually somebody in the chat right now. I'm going to shout them out because we had a conversation years ago and they asked me if they thought it would be better to be very diverse or maybe focus in on one or two projects. And I did say at the time, if you're going to focus in on one project, make sure that you do it the absolute best you can, where make sure you're showing off everything you're doing. So when people start looking for that project, you're the go-to guy or couple for that project. And that's Stephen and Courtney. And they invested in the Sunset and man, they've never looked back. And now majority of people, when you think about, okay, well, I'm looking for a Sunset. One of probably the first 3 or 4 names you're going to think of is going to be Leviathan, because everybody knows they are heavily invested and produce Sunsets. So, yeah, I mean, there's other guys like Brock Wagner and Winston and guys like that too, but they've marketed themselves so well. So there's so many different layers. And here's another question too. What does somebody consider making it? So for me, going to a show, like that first show, coming home with $1,000 in my pocket, I thought, shit, okay, I can do this. I can do this. That, and then that first show I've sold like 20 snakes, like, okay, now I'm really feeling like I'm somewhere. I don't know when you ever feel like you've kind of got there or that you've made it. Cause I'm definitely, anytime I even start feeling any kind of full of myself, all I got to do is walk around a show like Sear and immediately go, oh my God, I'm not even scratching the surface. I mean, I'm not even coming close to some of these guys.
For somebody to say right now that they're making it in the ball python game, it's very minimal. Okay. So to really say you're making it in the ball python game. And like you said, let's break this down. What's your return? What's your take home? What's your fucking profit and loss? And if you are always in the green and dude, but that takes years. Like that's, I don't know. It's so scary to even think, like, who has the balls to even say, hey, I'm making it in the ball python game and I can prove it. Please.
There's honestly, the people that could brag are probably maybe you could count with your hand.
And they won't brag though. That's the thing.
Thank you. I was about to say
if you think you made it, if you think you're made it, you're gonna take your foot off the gas, and that's the last thing you want to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And here's another thing.
Yep.
Nobody in this game really ever makes it by just chasing trends. Chasing what's hot right now. By the time you get there, it ain't hot no more. Or at least it's nowhere near as hot.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a vision of something you've never seen before, chase it. Because that's how to put your name on the map.
Anyone who's making a Troy right now in ball pythons is doing more than ball pythons. Okay, they're either throwing a show, they're either starting a new fucking app that changes everything for everyone's like future into this. Okay, like those are the leading industry leaders right there, or people who are actually not only worried about.
There's guys that do this for a living, MJ, that don't do that, don't have much of a presence on social media, but are still making a living. So to them, I'm sure they figure like, well, I've made it. They're making a living. They're doing something they love.
Like you said, we all have our own vision of what makes it. Like what's your vision's not my vision. You know what I mean?
Right.
100%. The way I look at people is a lot differently than how anyone else may look at them. But that's the way I look at it. Because for me, I think about all longevity. Shout out to anyone who's a fucking a closet ball python breeder. God bless you if you're But to me, I'm looking at people who are really here to be a force in this industry because we need that. Right. Like we need leaders like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's different levels. It all depends what your idea of making it is, right?
Exactly.
But a lot of people are lying to themselves. I'm going to be real with you.
Honestly, the first time I ever felt, not so much that I'm making it or that I've made it, but I'm getting there, is when I reached a point where a lot of my sales, I'm not having to pull as much money out of my own pocket and out of my paycheck anymore. I'm being able to level up and buy that next level animal by selling the things that I've produced. Like anymore, like when I go shopping at a show, what I covet or what I want is getting less. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller because I'm focusing more in on the projects I want to work more heavily. Even after this season, like I said, I mean, I should be somewhere between 60, 70 clutches this year. I don't want to be that heavy. So 2026, I would like to reduce the amount of shows that we're doing. And I would like to be back down around that 30 to 40 clutch, but definitely more higher end animals. Because everybody and anybody, whoever has done shows or has sold snakes, the lower end animals, and then has also sold higher end animals, you'll know the guy that wants to buy that $50 snake that's in the deli cup's going to kick your teeth in for 2 hours asking you 5,000 questions. The guy that wants the $8,000 snake on your table is going to hand the money and be like, here, thanks. Oh, great. And then he walks away. You know what I mean? No other questions other than maybe what was the hatch date or what was the pairing. That's usually about it. So,
yeah,
but there are people, and I feel, I hope that I'm one of them. I don't mind answering a lot of those questions on the guy that comes to the table wants to buy, and it seems like our sweet spot range at most shows. Now, when I say most shows we do are Repticons. So that $200 to $500 snake is like the magic number. So I don't mind educating people. My goal is like what Bob did for me. I want whoever buys an animal from me to have the best experience they can possibly have, that maybe they'll come back and get something else from me. That's the goal.
Bob and that breeder you brought up earlier in the show created you. And
absolutely.
We need to, as a industry, we need to recruit a lot of people back in so we get that next layer of investors. That is our most important project going forward, because we got a ton of people leaving, right? So we're stagnant. If anything, we've probably contracted a bit, right? We need to start getting more and more investors back in the game, man. But
like even when I was in, like when I first started buying, there was kind of, a correction, because there had been a high point just before that too, and it started coming down.
Yeah, I remember.
So, we're ebbing and flowing for sure. But the best way to keep the industry going is bringing new people in. And not just to get them to buy that first animal, but I think as an industry, we need to just make sure that people who are getting these animals are set up for success, so So they stay interested and they want to come back and be a part.
That's going to be damn near impossible without the love for the animal. Like you got to have some sort of connection. It has to be something to where like, okay, maybe my plan for breeding is not going to work out, but I still want to keep these animals. That's where people need to get back to. They need to get back to the sake of keeping. And then everything grows into what it should be. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the whole like, hey, I just met my neighbor down the street and he fucking just sold me 4 ball pythons, told me I can make 100K in 2 years. Like, that's the problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh my God. But you know what? I heard several vendors saying that to people during COVID. Like it was like the Wild West, man. People could not. People were just throwing money at vendors.
To be fair, Troy, that was happening to them. Like honestly, it was a vicious cycle of pipe dream pitching because that next pitch, it was like that was the peak of the pyramid scheme was COVID because you had people who were at the top and they were just like pitching shit left and right. And that next person was doing the exact same thing to that next person, to the next person, to the next person. And it just got out of control. It got really out of control. But really, like the whole, like me and Emil talk about this all the time. If something were to go down, Troy, and the whole laws of selling snakes or whatever were to fucking come down, like how fucking meth is or something in this goddamn country, I'm still keeping everything. I don't give a fuck. Like I love what I keep, but that is, I guess, a rarity right now in this hobby. Like people aren't really obsessed with what they're keeping. You know what I mean? We got to get back to that. We got to get back to that.
Well, my thing on that is the people who aren't passionate about it, those are the ones that get out after a year or two because they don't understand the amount of work you have to put in, whether you're breeding your own rodents like we do, whether, and man, so just that alone, even if you're not breeding your own, the cost of rodents, depending on how many animals you have, like if you grow too fast, you're going to be shocked of how much money it's going to take just to maintain your collection on a weekly basis.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because when you see the guys that inspire us the most, right? A guy like Bob, a guy like JKR Canova.
Absolutely,
I call him JKR because I was
here. What a throwback,
bro! But I was here when he was JKR, and that's a badass name.
I have my JKR shirt.
Hey guys. It took this man 20 plus, it didn't take him 20 plus to get to where he is, but it's a 20-year process for a lot of people. 15 years, 10 years. This is a long game. So you could throw all the money you want, right? But it's a process, man. You got to build that brand. These guys are there for a reason. They've gone through it all.
And here's the hardest thing, guys. You just can't put a timeline on anything. Like even if you're like, hey, I've been a 5-year passionate ball python keeper, I'm ready to breed. That's great, but is it going to work out? Not guaranteed. Like there's still things that could not go in your favor. There is people who get shit luck that they're like, why am I even doing this? And that's unfortunate, but guess what? It happens. You know what I mean? So, dude, if you're not fired up about this, then when things happen, like financial things in your life, and then if you're struggling paying your weekly rodent bill or something, like things happen. And like me and Troy, I came in this the lowest level of my life. There were times where I'm like, what am I fucking doing? Like, can I even afford what I'm doing? And I just figured it out because there was no going back. There was no going back. And also I knew how much I loved my life with the animals. Sorry, go ahead.
That reminds me. So speaking of that, so when I lived in Kentucky, so soft furs are illegal in Kentucky. My next door neighbor was a Fish and Wildlife warden, and I had ASS, but I line bred my ASF so they would be pure white. Every ASF I got, more and more and more white. So I had them to the point where they were pure white. Yeah. And he came in the house one day and he saw, no, I'm sorry. He was coming over to the house when a buddy of mine was leaving with some of them. He's like, what do you got there? And I'm like, oh, they're Siberian snow hamsters. And he looks at him, he goes, yeah, those are really cool. I go, yeah, they're kind of mean though. You don't want to mess with them. Never suspected.
Oh my God.
So he was like, yeah, those are really pretty. So yeah, I line bred those suckers so I wouldn't get busted with them, so, but because I wanted my snakes to have like the best food they can get, so.
Well, definitely put
things like that. Like when you love what you're doing, there's crazy shit like that you're just gonna do to make things work.
Yeah, I think the name I had was Kenya River Hamsters or something like that. I forgot the name I had, but
Yeah.
all right, guys, we're gonna be right back after this short break. So hang tight. We'll see you here in a short. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Devin.
I'm Teresa, and we are Prague Morphs. We are based in Czech Republic, a small country in the middle of Europe.
We really love animals that revolve around multi-recessive projects, and one of our very favorites is Hypo. We're really looking forward to clutches that are coming this season, and some of those are Hypo Clown, DG Clown, Hypo DG Clown, and one of our all-time favorites, Hypo Puzzle.
Hope you enjoyed the next episode on Trap Talk, the greatest reptile network in the world.
If you guys want to see next level cutting edge ball python projects, please make sure you head over to their Instagram to follow all their amazing work, and head over to their website to see what they could possibly have available by heading over to progmorphs.com. Thank you again, Devin and Teresa, for bringing some of the biggest heat worldwide in the ball python game. One of the things I love the most about the reptile world is reptile businesses that are family oriented. I love the Rice Reptile family. Rice Reptiles have made quite the name for themselves over the last couple of years, rebranding themselves and also bringing amazing cutting edge, front of the line ball python projects that you must check out. Again, make sure you head over to their website, ricereptiles.net, Rice Family Reptiles on IG, to give them a follow, see what they have coming out. You can catch them vending at all major NARBC shows, Southeast Reptile Expo. A lot of great stuff coming from this family. So again, thank you so much, Billy, Don, over at Rice Reptiles. If you're in the ball python game in 2025, you know what you should be doing with your sheds, and that's turning them in to get them tested. That's right, no more POS hets, no more 66% hets. We can find out directly through today's sponsor, and that sponsor is Rare Genetic Inc. Thank you so much, Ben and Sean over at Rare Genetic Inc. Head over to their website, raregeneticinc.com, and head over to their YouTube channel and make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel. They put out a video every Wednesday to update you guys on new current events over at RGI. But I got to tell you right now, very excited to continue my partnership over at Rare Genetic Inc. Head over to their Instagram account. Make sure you follow them on Instagram, subscribe, hit that notification bell on their YouTube channel. That way you're current on new announcements and anything that they got to update you with. Again, thank you so much, Rare Genetic Inc. RGI, you guys are the best student in the game. If you want to be organized, if you want to be cutting edge in the ball python game, then you don't want to miss this. Shout out to today's sponsor, and that's Clutch, #1 ball python organization app in the game. No better place to start off than by using this app. Clutch is an organization app that helps you organize all your ball python projects. It also helps your peers and your fellow community members look at what you possibly have coming for the upcoming ball python season, what you have currently available on Morph Market. It's so awesome to be ahead of the game by using organization app like Clutch. Thank you so much, the entire Clutch team, amazing team over at Clutch. If I were you, I would head over to Clutch's Instagram account, and I would also head over to their website, try it out, see how it works for you. But especially if you're just now coming into this, before you build your reptile collection, I would do it organized, and I would do it with Clutch. Thank you, Clutch, for being so amazing. Excited to hear what Clutch has to bring in the near future. Cheers. So on the topic of rodents, first and foremost, did you move? And are you still producing ASFs, or what's your current situation as far as where you live and whatnot?
Yeah, so I'm in South Carolina now. They are perfectly legal here.
Right.
I did bring majority of my colonies with me. Mm-hmm. Before I left Kentucky, though, I did scale way back on snakes. I sold a lot of animals off when I moved, but just before I moved to South Carolina.
How long has that been since you moved?
It was 5 years ago, Thanksgiving.
Stressful moving, huh?
Yeah, I think I came here to South Carolina with 24 females and like 8 males 5 years ago.
Where are you now with collection size?
So I have about 100 breeder females at the moment. Probably I got another 55-40 rack of females growing up. I got a 55-40 rack of males that has a few empty tubs in it. And then, so I don't know, however many that is.
with babies, about 200 snakes, I guess. Right?
Yeah, I would say so. We're really, really low on available animals at the moment. Okay. But man, the incubator, we've got some colonies. We're talking rodents. Got some clutches in the incubator. So, you know, our season's starting off pretty quick, really early. The last several years were super late. So this year I actually started pairing like my younger females. I started pairing them like September, October, and they're already starting to go. So hopefully we'll get them spread out over the year. So I don't make 40 clutches and have 34 of them between, you know, laying eggs between July and September, kind of like we did the last couple of years.
Like most of the market.
Yeah. So, but it's looking like, I mean, like a lot of the girls are really, developing early this year. So that's great. But we started pairing a lot earlier.
You use an ultrasound, Troy?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How long have you been using one for?
Not that long. 3 years, maybe the last 3, maybe 3.5 years.
And how do you how are you utilizing it to where it's working for you?
Oh, tracking. Yeah. So the amount of males I have is actually a lot lower now than it used to be, because now I can track the follicle growth and strategically put the males in when they need to go in without overworking any of them.
Yeah. Game changer.
But I procrastinated for a while investing in the ultrasound, and then Steven of Leviathan actually got an ultrasound, and then nice. You know, he was messing with it, and then I was just like, man, I got to get me one of those. So I went ahead and got one, and then Steven showed me some stuff, and then Bob as well kind of taught me. Both of those guys taught me how to use the ultrasound. So yeah, and it makes a difference. Anybody who says having an ultrasound won't make you a better breeder is full of shit, because it damn sure will.
I mean, we're talking about like you said, you don't need as much overhead, because if you are smart about, you know, using the ultrasound and pairing that male, you know, you're not going to overwork any males. You're not going to everything's going to be methodically planned. And that, I feel like that's for sure. Like, I definitely have been one of those fucking, like, I'd rather just be a closet ball python breeder and not use an ultrasound. But now I have some of these, and I forgot what episode I was talking to Craig last Thursday, but I definitely have pairings that I want fucking to go down. You know what I mean? And this whole guessing thing that I've been doing, it's cool, but like, come on, like if I want to make sure I have a chance at something, I got to know what's going on in that female. Like it's
let me say this. I didn't have an ultrasound for 17 years. I finally have it, and I should have had it earlier. I can tell you, with young girls, it is very important to have an ultrasound. There are girls that you might not even breed, right? You wouldn't have bred without the ultrasound. That if you have the ultrasound, you could get that clutch. Okay, that to me is one of the more important parts of having the ultrasound in itself. And yes, breeding a small male. Last year I bred a small male, and I was very careful with him, and I was able to get production a year early. So yeah, having the ultrasound is to me, it's right. Because you should have it.
Well, not only did you know exactly when to put that young male in, I've also noticed since I've had the ultrasound that my slug rate has dramatically dropped because I'm not overworking them boys. They're getting in there at the right time. Yeah. The young males, they're only good for so many locks, you know, in that first season.
I didn't even think of that, because there could be weak sperm. You're right. Yeah. Like there could be like the guy's on a roll, and next thing you know, he's just like, dude, I'm shooting blanks at this point. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's a fucking very good point right there, Troy.
Yeah, because I still to this day I keep track of egg production, slugs, and then how many hatched in each clutch. You know, because once in a while you do get an egg go bad in the incubator. But when I started using that ultrasound, my slug rate dropped dramatically, especially with when you're pairing young males. My opinion on slugs, I feel like 90, maybe even 95% of the time, if you're getting slugs, it's because it was because of the male, not the female. She's not going to go through all that just not to fertilize eggs.
Yeah,
it's usually because. Go ahead.
I believe that's correct. It's to me, in my experience throughout all these years, the males are usually the ones that are fucking the shit up. The females are on point.
Yep.
You know, when you get a girl to finally breed for you and she reaches that maturity, she's like a machine. The males are the ones that are kind of like, they're iffy overall.
Yep. Yeah, not just with the ultrasound and making sure you're timing those pairings just right. Make sure you don't have your males like hot spots too warm either, because you don't want to cook off their sperm as well, because then they're really shooting blanks too, and you're going to get slug rate. So probably that's the most important thing. Stay on top of those male temps to make sure they're cool enough to where you're not cooking off sperm, and then use that ultrasound, get them in at the right times, and your slug rate will dramatically come down.
But that said, Troy, I will say this: learning the behavioral aspects of breeding are super important as well. So I think both you have to combine both, and I think it makes you even better. So
I don't keep my males nowhere nearly as warm as I do my females. My males are like low 80s. I don't, and mind you, my room is also warm too. I let my room get up to like 82, like the warmest during part of the day. And I don't know, like even my females, I think my hot spot for my females are 87, 88. I don't do 90. Not that 90s.
So I bet you have female heavy clutches, MJ.
Oh, what do you mean female heavy clutches? Like I like my ratio.
On what you're producing. If your females rack temp, that's what you're saying. Your rack temp for your girls is
87.
Yeah. Do you produce female heavy clutches most of the time?
I have, yeah. That's actually that's been a known thing for me. I produce a lot of females. I always produce. So I've been saying this on this. Go ahead.
There's a little tidbit of information a lot of people don't know. Incubating temp got nothing to do with the sex of the babies that are coming.
Interesting.
Keep your females cooler in the rack temp. You'll have more females.
Yeah.
Raise the temperature on your females and you'll be more male heavy.
I was always told it was how you incubate them on what gives you a heavy, but
incubating got nothing to do with it. I've tried that, and finally a well-known, well-established breeder was like, because I was telling him, man, I was running 80% males for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like the odds of it should have been completely impossible. And he's like, drop your females down to around 88 on the hot spot, and I guarantee you'll flip that next year. You'll be way female heavy. He was right. I've kept it there, and I'm female heavy the last 2 years now.
I've had a clutch. It was like 3 years ago. I had an 8 clutch, all females out of the 8. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, what's happening? And I always thought because my incubator was so like inconsistent back then, it was like one of those Snapple incubators. Yeah. It was fucking broken. I don't know, but it worked. And I always thought, man, it must have been the fluctuation that gives me all these females. But I've always been like, because how warm my room gets, I just always felt like, what's the point of 90? I don't think it's important. And I hate using heat. Heat scares me. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That's always worked for me. But hey, I guess that's kind of why I still am.
Have you experienced that, Emilio? Cooler rack temps for
me, it's simple, man. When I want the chance of more females, I always go at the bottom of the rack. I run an ambient system in my room. It's very seasonal.
Yeah.
It's very hot during the summer, and it's moderately cool during.
And heat rises. So yeah, you actually just proved the point.
Yeah. So
if you want girls, you put them on the cooler.
But what I would say, simply put, is for me, throughout my breeding history, I've seen that a lot of times the odds of male to female is usually 50-50 overall. You know, I think in all my time as a breeder, I've probably hit all males in a clutch maybe once or twice. So all females, a little bit more than that, I'd say. So
yeah, I have no problem getting females. I always, but trust me, there's been times where I'm like, okay, I could use a male now. And I'm like, fuck, like,
anybody that I've actually mentioned this to
have told me. Limey had a good comment in the chat. He runs 86. You want to put it up, MJ?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, Limey's been in this game longer than probably all of us combined. So if that's
so he's saying I mean, it evens out.
Yeah. I will say though, if it's evening out, man, just lowering that I'm gonna. whether it just magically happened or all of a sudden I'm female heavy after being extremely male heavy for a while.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think your odds came around, brother.
You think that's what it was, and not? But then again, I just guessed that MJ was having female heavy clutches than he was. Because
no, I'm not saying you're wrong, but
I've been having female heavy clutches for years now. I've been saying this for a long time.
Maybe we need more data. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, anecdotal.
Yeah.
It's still interesting to know.
Well, it won't hurt. It won't hurt if you're trying to hit girls,
definitely
make it cooler.
Try it. I'm gonna try that. You know, whatever. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, with these triple recessives, we need to do whatever we can to get more females, bro.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Won't hurt.
For like heads and shit for the quads. I mean, bro, let me tell you, there's gonna be those males. Man, a lot of people don't want them, bro. You know.
But you know what? They are starting to sell a little bit easier now because now people on a budget go buy that triple het male, and I mean have a clutch and shed test them eventually. Like, man, that'll level the playing field pretty quick. I mean, you don't have to have the double visual to make sure that you got that you got the genes that you wanted in a combination.
Yeah.
So I mean, shed testing definitely is leveling the playing field a bit, or definitely advancing, leaping forward projects a lot quicker now.
Since we brought up shed testing real quick, we spoke earlier about questioning genetics sometimes in the animals we're buying. If someone has the money or the capital to spend on a stacked animal, right? Why aren't they testing that animal with RGI to ensure that the animal that they purchased has everything that the breeder said it has?
Lazy.
So anyone out there that is doing these, buying these animals, test the animal the minute you get it.
Oh, so right? I have a couple comments on that.
I want to speak on this too, but go for it, Troy.
Okay. So number one, there are going to be some genes in an animal that are going to be so obvious you wouldn't have to test for them all. However, I know like a complete panel test might be even less expensive than like trying to figure out 4 or 5 genes, right? So panel test might be the same if you run a bunch. Yeah. But at the same time, if you're investing money in that level of animal too, hey, I mean, get swabs from RAL and make sure the damn thing's healthy. Make sure you're not getting nidovirus or arenavirus or something like that.
Well, that too. But
so
the faster you get, the faster you figure out if there's a problem, the easier it is to fix.
That's right. Yeah, because then you can literally take it right back to that breeder or just show them the test results.
Yep.
But there are some tests even right now that, like right now, red stripe. Like if I'm testing an animal for red stripe that visually is so obviously red stripe, it comes back negative, I'm not getting rid of that animal right away.
No, hell no.
There's a few things that do have more than one line that just isn't mapped yet. Maybe you can have Dr. Ben or Sean on here to talk about that too, because I've spoken at length with them about issues like this as well. And we are they do keep discovering new lines of certain genetics.
And let's talk about this. We have to accept things, happening such as like, okay, maybe this isn't as accurate as we thought because it's shed testing first and foremost.
Yeah, and it's in its infancy as well too. So the more they test, and the more they're going to figure it out too. But there are things that are, like I said, like they're for sure. Like there's a lot of genetics now that they've got dialed in where you can take it to the bank. But
yeah, those are the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I 100% agree. If you test something and you're like, that's odd, and that's a still fucking banging looking animal, don't let go of that animal.
Just like I'm still seeing people sell investment animals as possets. Like, come on, guys, like for real, what's going on?
Oh man, don't get me started on that. Oh, don't get me started on that. Okay, so all right, well, let me back up real quick. Sean from RGI will be the first guy to tell you if they run a test on your animal and it's very questionable, like you disagree or you strongly suspect it still is that, just give them a call or email them. They'll run it again for you just to be 100% sure.
They will.
Okay? Yeah. They will do it at no extra cost. So
They want to know. They want to make sure. They want to make sure it's accurate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What was that other point you just made too, Emilio? I'm old. Just
no, that I see people still trying to sell investment
selling pos hats
as pos hats.
Okay. So, and I'm not going to name names, but I'm going to tell you right now, I know for a fact there's a few guys out there that are shed testing, tests come back negative. They're still putting pos hat on.
Yo, that's fucking shitty, bro.
That's fucking wild.
Fucking shitty.
Yeah, that is
shitty,
about.
But you want to know something, Troy? You want to know something, Troy? It's shitty for them too.
It's infuriating,
bro. We're in a market where, yo, you're competing with so many people. Like, yo, do the right things, man. Because you ain't
just like Join Reptile says. As far as I'm concerned, if anything's pos hat, they're getting that pos hat for free.
And you know what? And there's people out there like myself. Guess what? I have had a bag full of sheds, and I look at like how I never turned them in, and I need to sell these snakes. So guess what? Anything pos het, it's just a fucking bonus. Good for you if it proves out. And I'm okay
100%.
with that. I am okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, because I'd rather somebody win if they can.
Yeah, MJ. But here's the thing: if that shed test comes back, and it will affect the value of that animal by even 100%. Like it'll double the value, or even go up, 3, 4, 5 times what the shed test is worth. You're not going to keep that animal and have and run that test.
No, mind
when I see an animal on Morph Mark and I'm like, okay, it's pos het this and pos het that. If it is het for those, that animal is worth 3 times as much.
Yeah,
why wouldn't you shed test it?
People are lazy, bro. Lazy and cheap.
No, I'm going to talk on this because I already have my holdbacks that I'm keeping. This is something I already know. Even if it does prove out to be het, I already have my portion of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's fucking, call me lazy. I don't give a fuck. It is stuff that I'm like, I got so much going on. I don't have time to send in these fucking these sheds sometimes. So what am I going to do? Is I'm going to hook the fucking person up and not charge her for the pos hat.
Yeah,
you know
that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, 100%. Because good for them.
Now,
I got my portion. You know what I mean?
I agree with good for that customer, but as a business, from a business standpoint, you're leaving so much money on the table.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I love where I'm at in the ball python game, and I love the money I make, but I don't need it. I gotta tell you that much. You know what I mean? And so,
well, I need the money, so I'm gonna shed test that animal.
Everybody has different levels, right?
Yeah,
I'm all about keeping this game fun and keeping my overhead as low as possible.
No, but MJ, I'm not talking about you, bro. I'm talking about people. That
I wasn't talking about him either. Yeah.
I know. I'm just telling you why I do it the way I do it. You know what I mean?
People that are just doing ball pythons. I mean,
and you know what? Maybe that was the answer. The truth of the matter on. I'm gonna say some, not all, because I know some guys are shed testing and then still selling pos hats. But maybe in general, most of those guys are like MJ. Like they shed tested 1 or 2 and they got their holdback they needed, and they don't feel the need to shed test and spend the money on the rest of them.
Like I do well enough on the ball pythons where here I would love to hook somebody up. Like to me, it's not that important. And maybe you're right. If my wife heard this and she saw how much money I'm leaving, she'd probably be pissed. I'll tell you that much. But I don't know, like Emilio says, this isn't all I do. And I have my mind wrapped in so many different things where like anyone on top of their shit, I will say you should be shed testing. You really should. If you want to be smart about this. I'm not saying don't do what I do. Trust me, I do what I do because I'm MJ. But to making sure you're not leaving anything on the fucking table, which I feel like is important in a day and age like today, right? Like maybe don't be so loosely, because we do have opportunities to kind of show you value what you have versus not knowing it. You know what I mean? So everyone has a different, I'm just saying everyone's way of doing things in different parts of this hobby is different,
well, not just that, but I mean, it'd be one thing if these guys were shed testing and then they put on, now if they sold the animal as shed tested negative for this and this, but it was in the pairing, so maybe some fluke chance it might still have it in there if they were trying to say that. But yeah, if you're shed testing and it comes back negative, I just, for me, when there's animals on there that could literally be worth thousands more, I'm not leaving that kind of money on the table. But now pos hets on lower end stuff, like where it literally would have little to no value difference, of what that animal's going to sell for, I'm not sending those sheds off.
I agree with that.
And
like
I also,
if it's a male clown, pos het, whatever,
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not shed testing that animal.
I'm
It's
talking
not,
about the mid to higher tier stuff. I mean,
yes, higher
there's
end.
so much competition that, bro, you better
Yes.
you better.
And I should explain that part. If I have anything that I consider mid to high tier, I'm holding all that shit back. I don't let a lot of that stuff go. I'm talking like a lot of stuff that's either pied, that's posset clown, or all this other stuff. Like I guess you could say the lower end posset stuff is the stuff that I'm just, you know, I rather not, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But all that higher end stuff, like, which I don't have a bunch of higher end stuff yet, you know, but any of that shit, yeah, damn right, I'm testing it. I'm not selling it. I need to. I'm on Will Morrow's time when it comes to that stuff for sure.
Man, I wish I was that disciplined. I wish I was that disciplined. I've now, that being said, there's not a ton of animals I regret really selling. There's a few. Ed from Coffin Critters in the chat earlier, he bought one of them that I never should have sold. He bought it right out of my whole back rack. He's lucky I love him and his wife. But anyway, regardless, there's not too many animals I regret letting go, because usually if I'm letting that animal I would typically hold back go, it's because there's another breeder out there that has another animal that is even better than the one I was going to hold back. But
yeah,
man, yeah, if you can level up with your own pairings, yeah, your best customer should be yourself, for sure.
And you know what? That has to be the case for a long time. I mean, if you can't forever, I mean, you think Justin's still not his best customer? Like, Justin picks all the best stuff. Like, but like, you have to be in that position to where, like, I know I should keep this, not sell it. The thing is right now, Troy, is there's people who have cool stuff and they need to sell it. They have to sell it. They're like, and no matter what the market is doing to that price of that snake, they don't care. They will put it on auction. They will do whatever they got to do to sell it. And that's what's hurting people like that. You know, like,
hey, but don't get it twisted. Even the top guys, they'll pull stuff out of their holdback rack for the right price.
Oh yeah, everything has a price.
That's just the game.
There you go. See, MJ just said what I've actually said before. Even if I show up to a show with an animal that says not for sale on it, I mean, it's for sale, but you're gonna, if you want it, it's gonna be I don't want to sell it price.
Oh yeah,
it's always Ask Levant's energy for me, motherfucker. Listen,
it
may not say it's for sale, but guess what? Come talk to me if you're serious. You know, everything got a price.
Yes, yep. Oh, I've joked around with people that ask me about certain things. I'm like, listen, I'll sell you everything out in my building if the price is right.
Yeah, right. You got to come correct.
Maybe not everything, but
and then also listen. Kind of goes back to where, like, listen, you got to produce something that people are going to want. Like how your weekend completely changed on that Sunday. You had somebody who made money already that weekend come spend money with you because you had something that they needed. And if you're doing that, you're always going to be in a good place. I don't care what anyone says, bro. Like,
another thing too, like when you have really good rapport with other vendors too, like I'm not opposed to trading somebody. If they got something I want, I got something they want. Hey, yeah, I'll do a trade. Absolutely.
Yeah, it could go down. Yeah, totally.
So.
Yeah, you know, listen, I just know for sure everything that we talk about, like, it just has to work out, and you can't put a timeline on it. But you got to keep your head in the game. You have, like Emilio says, you have to stay obsessed. You got to know what's trending, what's not, and that's how you stay ahead about this. It's no other way to go around it. Go ahead, Emilio. Sorry.
Well, listen, this is you know, we're going another way real quick because I'm actually interested in this. Big Dog, why balls and strikes?
So when I was kind of getting started and I was looking for a cool name and I kept looking and looking, like a lot of cool names were taken. And I was a Little League baseball coach, had been for a long time. And I was on my pitching staff, you know, my Little League team, just always on them about balls and strikes as wins and losses. Like, come on, like you win and lose the game all by yourself on this mound, and just giving them a spiel. And then after one practice, after me yelling about balls and strikes so many times, they were like, my Little League baseball team pitching staff named our business. They were like, we think you should name your business Balls and Strikes because they're ball pythons, and you know, when they eat, they strike. And I was like, that's pretty freaking genius. I like it. So that's how the name came about.
Or when you hit that amazing combo, it's a strike.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, bowling. But
so
yeah,
I don't know
man,
if you can see. So this logo right there, and actually on my shirt, without the palm trees, was the original logo that my wife came up with. And so many people are asking if the logo had to do with bowling. So she did, you know, after seeing A League of Their Own, she came up and she
I
came
knew
up
it.
with
League
the
of Their
pinup
Own.
girl.
I knew it. League of Their Own. I got that vibe totally off that freaking thumbnail, off this logo.
Yeah.
I love that movie. That's a good movie.
So
I love
yep.
it.
So she came up with that to add the baseball theme, which is where the baseball is where the name came from.
Yeah, there's nothing like that logo in this game, bro.
Yeah.
I like it.
Balls
Everything, man, all our color schemes, the logos, everything is all Margaret.
Yeah, I love it. All right, we have a heavy topic we need to cover tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely because it's made a lot of noise in the hobby today.
Okay.
Morph market buyer protection. What are your thoughts of that, Troy, when you hear about that and what goes on in your head? And be completely fucking 100% on. You're not gonna hurt my feelings if
All
you
right. Well,
like,
first
yeah,
and foremost,
hear it.
I'm whether this is upsets people or not. I'm not a Darian hater. I love the guy. Like I have been to shows. Like I was sitting in St. Louis 2 years ago. A lot of people were having a really tough show, and that man walked around and bought animals from people so they wouldn't go out on a zero.
Wow.
That's the things that man will do that nobody talks about and nobody will give him credit for. I've watched this man do that. I love the guy. I think, you know, I think the world of him. And Margaret's done some really awesome hats. He's given her some hats and she's painted on the Morph Market hats for them. And they are amazing. So I think it's it's kind of a nice little kind of buyer protection plan. I think he's being smart about it with the rules on the vendors who are allowed to have that little guarantee. If anything helps, man, like to have that guarantee next to your name, like Morph Market's going to guarantee they'll live up to your expectations or you're going to get so much money back or whatever from Morph Market. I don't have a problem with that at all. I think it's actually a pretty good idea and might help new people have a little more confidence in buying from certain people.
What do you think, Big E?
That's my honest opinion. I
think it's brilliant as a business. Bro, people that are upset about it, you can't tell another business how to run their business. It's brilliant. Darian's a beast.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't see this one coming. I can tell you this was incredible.
I did.
I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people are gonna have to make hard decisions going forward. And listen, you can't tell another business how to run their business. It's that simple. And you could bitch, moan, cry about it. You know, in America, we have to compete.
And you have to adapt with the changes,
Yeah.
right? Like we're talking about, like we talk about people paying $15 a month for a fucking check mark next to their name on Instagram. Okay, for what does that do for you? You're verified. Congratulations. But people are willing to do that just to have a status where all we're talking about is, first and foremost, I think about the anyone who has to be worried about a protection plan, right, is worried for a reason. Like what is there that you are worried about when you have something that protects the buyer? Where what do you think protecting a buyer is going to do? It's going to bring more buyers. It's going to bring a lot more buyers. And if you are doing things the way you should be doing, there should be nothing to worry about. Like, do you know how first and foremost, to the extent of you neglecting an issue with the customer for this whole protection thing to come into play, like you have to really be a piece of shit seller to this person, avoiding them, not contacting them, dead of arrival, like no trying to make it up. If that's the kind of extent it needs to go to. So anyone who's a seller like that, we don't want them on Morph Market anyways. Get out of here if you're going to be selling something like that.
But here's the thing though, MJ, new people getting in may not have those people they trust or, you know, have a couple of breeders that they mostly deal with. And then they can go to that breeder for a recommendation. Like, hey, I'm looking at this other animal. Do you know this guy?
Yeah.
You know, it's a small community for the most part. Like everybody's going to know somebody who's going to know whatever breeder that is you're trying to buy something from. And if they don't, maybe not. You should get something from them if it's that much of an unknown. But if they have good ratings on Morph Market, positive stuff. Now, of course, some of that could be fabricated, but hopefully not. But if it helps give confidence to people who really are new to the hobby, like say and I'm not just picking on this state or whatever, say you live in the middle of Montana somewhere and you don't really have many shows in your area or people to buy from, and but you're really wanting to get in, having that green check mark, maybe that'll help you buy or make you decide that you want to buy from them, because worst case scenario, you have some kind of backup protection.
What I'm going to tell you guys is that we need to protect that next generation, or that next that recruitee, that next person that's going to become that next Troy.
I mean, but why not look more legit? Like, why not? What's the problem with what we're doing making it look more officially legit? There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, it's making it more legit. Because you know how many people I get asking me, oh, I was very afraid to buy my first purchase. Bro, I get that a million times, right? Oh, you made it, so easy, and I'm so happy. Bro, think about how many people go through that and don't make purchases, right? So this program is going to protect us bringing more people in the game.
Yeah. And you know what? Somebody just commented, if you're pissed off about a buyer protection, you're probably the same ones making a big fuss about there being cheaper shipping options through Morph Market. Like, how is saving money a fucking problem? You know what I mean? Like, really? But then again, we should look around who's complaining here. And I feel like there's just a lot of agenda going on with some of the stuff. So I just feel like, people make their own decisions. And I know there's a lot of logical people out there, even though sometimes it doesn't seem like it. But, do what's right, people. And I got to tell you, man, it's exciting to see something like this come into the reptile space. You know what I mean? Like, we got to clean it up as much as we can. And you know that.
Yeah, protect the future.
But, and one great thing about a lot of even podcasts, even like this, and other ones, is if you're a shitty breeder, you're selling diseased animals, you're selling like that Slither Inc. guy. Like, seriously, like, guys like that need to be gone. The only way to do that is by us all talking to each other and getting that out.
Yeah, word of mouth. For
sure. So, like, when there are legit issues, they need to be addressed for sure. And then, and even if you're not going to be the guy that's going to go confront that guy or whatever, you got to at least let your customers know, hey, this person's having some issues, so I wouldn't mess with them, at least for now. But until they get their stuff straight.
Now let's think about a perfect world with this kind of protection plan and these reviews. You don't have to do as much talking. Just go look up the person. Just go look at the person's account. You know what I mean? For the most part, they could be, like you said, some reviews could be like, maybe not as legit, but if you have that protection plan or that stamp, okay, with everything else, it's just not going to hurt you. It's going to, if anything, it's going to make it seem like you're just on top of your shit. And that is up in the reptile world right now. If you look more legit, you're better off right now in this business for sure.
Yeah. And not even just online. Like, overall, that goes back, that circles all the way back to something I was going to mention before, and I forgot because I'm old and things just exit just as fast as they come in if I don't get it out. At shows, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going to do shows and your displays are filthy, like you haven't washed your damn displays in weeks, your table covers are nasty and got like stains and stuck shit all over them.
Ew.
You walk by somebody's table and it smells like crap.
Oh my God.
Or you go to the show and you ain't got no damn deodorant on. I mean,
oh my God.
Damn. And then you're gonna sit there the whole show with your nose down in your phone, and then at the end of the show, bitch that you didn't sell nothing. Hello, have some pride. Have some pride. Take some pride in what you do.
Messy.
That's why I wore a polo shirt at Bob's show, tucked in my shirt, did my hair. We all ain't gotta look like bums all the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't
care if you look like a bum, but damn, be a clean bum. Be a clean bum.
Hey, there's some messy motherfuckers in this game, bro.
Look, I don't even care if like Dave Levinson wants to walk around in his Speedo at a show. As long as he don't stink, I'm good. I don't care.
And I will say, I've never smelled a smelly Dave. Pause. I'm just saying.
No,
like,
no.
Yeah.
the guy doesn't have odor issues, even though he may look like
no. That's what I'm saying. I don't care what you wear, but damn, make sure it's clean.
Yeah.
Make sure displays are clean. Make sure your animals aren't in there like with poo all stuck to them.
I will say, I don't think Dave washes his thrift jackets, like the thrift store jackets. I think he leaves that smell, because I smelled one at the Southeast Reptile Expo. And it smelled like fucking Marlboro Lights from the 80s or some shit. I just couldn't believe it. But, you know, hey, that's what makes Dave Dave. And I got to say, it was a good.
Dave is definitely a unique guy. Absolutely love being around him. I can't claim to really know the guy. I've really only had a few interactions with him. One was that at Sear, because I wanted to tell him the story behind the name that I gave a combo. I really wanted his more stamp of approval than anything, and which he gave to me glowingly. And
I know what you're talking about. This was going to be my wrap-up topic, and I'm glad you brought it up. Okay.
There it is.
And so, dude, you want to talk about a combo that Dave mentioned on a show. This is like 2019. He talked about campfire. He was talking about how he saw this snake called campfire at a show. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then so here I see your post that is basically like can you explain like the internal flame and how it relates to the campfire and Ben Rennick and stuff? Let's hear it from you, Troy.
Yeah. So I was saying, you know, the very first Tinley Park I ever got to was March 2017. And on a chance encounter, I met Ben Rennick, the one and only time I ever met Ben Rennick, got to see his tables, and he had two campfires on the table. Oh. He was not telling people what was in them at the time, you know, unless you bought one, then he'd tell you what the combo was. But eventually it finally came out on what it was. So, and Dave Levinson, after Ben passed away, kept the campfire name alive. So campfire was cinnamon inchy calico. So then he did like black pastel inchy calico, and those were bonfires. And then he added that into spider, and he called that like toasted marshmallow and so forth and so on. So when I hatched the first, this is actually the second that I've hatched. And actually I spoke on the guy earlier, Ed Coffin's Critters bought the first one that I did not want to sell. So when this one came out, I mean, even as a breeder sized male, that snake still looks spectacular just like this. My breeder male is still spectacular. So when that combo came out, I was like, man, so what other, you know, campfire, bonfire, forest fire, this, that, and the other, what other names are out there? And then just by happenstance, a little blip came off the screen about, I don't even want to say her name. We'll just call her the ex Mrs. Rennick, because I don't want to say her name.
Yeah, no good. Yeah, no thanks.
Hopefully she rots in that damn prison. But anyway, a little blip came up, and it just really got me thinking about Ben and that encounter. And I just kind of wanted to have a little tip of the cap to honor him and his memory. And so I've been to Arlington Cemetery many times, and they have like eternal flames for like JFK and like the astronauts. And I thought, wow, eternal flame. It's still in that a fire name. I thought, okay, that's what I have to name this combo. So that's how it got its name.
So what's in this combo exactly?
That is a banana cinnamon inchy calico extreme gene.
Wow. So, okay. So just to lock in the campfire combo, it has to be inchy, calico, and cinnamon. Those are the three?
Okay. That's the base campfire. Yeah, because obviously the allelic reaction causes a really cool coloration on the animal.
So where do you want to take a project like this, Troy? Like, what's your game plan overall? Sunset?
You know, I keep, so the next stop for this one actually is adding some red stripe in there, maybe some special in there, because special will turn a little more pink. Wow. Red stripe turns it more red. I've hit a few I've came real close. Bob actually has hit a very similar animal without the extreme gene with red stripe, and it was spectacular as well. So there's several different ways to go about it, but like yellow belly can really ruin the effect because yellow belly really pushes calico down a lot.
Yeah.
So I've had them with yellow belly before, but without definitely is a higher white. Asphalt looks spectacular in this combo as well, minus the extreme gene. I've made it without the extreme gene with asphalt. That was pretty spectacular. So I just keep playing with it each year, just kind of play with other genes in it to see how the reaction comes out. But to me, this one and the one just before that were just
that's awesome.
Probably possibly the most beautiful ball pythons I've ever laid eyes on, ever in person.
Yeah, I need to see something in that, brother, like ASAP.
I love to see it too, man. Like that's just something you personally want to do. Like I could tell like that's like a personal project for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the pairing that made that animal, there's 9 eggs in the incubator right now on a repeat pairing. So
nice. All right.
They are not easy to hit. Like I usually only the extreme gene version, I'm lucky to hit 1 a year.
Damn. All right, Big E. Why don't you hit Troy with your wrap-up topic or question?
Oh, pretty much. I really like to ask this question of most of our guests. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, Troy? Like where's balls and strikes at in 5 years?
Well, hopefully making just beautiful animals still, loving the hobby, loving the animals. Hopefully doing less clutches, but higher end stuff. Sticking with some of the higher end shows and I guess so. People ask me before if I want to be, like Justin or other guys like that. I'd like to be more like a smaller scale Bob, just helping people along. I don't have any desire to have employees, just higher end animals.
Oh, man.
Less work, less rodents.
Those are good goals to shoot for, man. Hell yeah.
I'm so scared to get employees, and I know I need it really bad, but I'm just like, I know how I am. So I'm just like,
employees scare me, man, because nobody's going to love your stuff more than you.
You have to, if you ever get there, you have to get someone you really, really, really trust. I have someone I trust that when I need help, they come and help me part-time now. And when you're drowning a little bit, it's nice to have someone.
I've got a couple guys local to me that I know I can call, like Jay from JLP Morphs. Him and Lizzie will come over like at the drop. If I need them, they'll be right here. Ed and Kate, Coffin's Critters, they'll be right here if I need them.
Oh, there you go.
There's a few others in the area as well. And I know this for a fact because I've made those calls. I've made those calls where I needed help with something, and they come right over to help, and they can expect the same from me. So
I'm gonna shameless plug this. I need help. Anyone in SoCal, reach out to me.
There you go.
Listen, my interview process is not easy, and I do drug tests. I'm just kidding. I don't drug test. But, I don't know. Hey, Troy, this was an amazing podcast, bro. I think 2 hours went by too quick, but
oh wow, we've been on. Wow, it's been 2 hours. How about that?
We got these hot seat questions that are ready for you, okay, my man. Everybody ends this with hot seat questions.
Oh.
I'm gonna do my row of them, and then Emilio has his way of ending the hot seat question round. Okay, you ready for that?
I hope so.
All right. Well, I guess we'll find out, guys. Can we get the likes up? This man deserves a lot of likes. Okay, so we need, if you're tapped into this, first and foremost, let's get the likes up for Troy because he done killed this episode. And Troy, the way these hot seat questions work, the quicker the better. Just rapid fire. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Hot seat questions coming in hot. Here we go. Frozen Thought or live?
Oh, live.
A cut or no cut?
Cut.
On what day?
Typically after first pip, I'll cut the rest of the clutch.
Yay chondros or boo chondros?
Oh, yay chondros.
When it comes to ball pythons, pre-first shed meal or post-first shed meal?
Oh, post.
Yay imports or boo imports?
Oh, that's a tricky one. Oh, just for longevity of the hobby, I'm going to say yay imports.
What would be one reptile you would import to your collection, no matter what it is, like a dream one? What would it be? Like,
I'm gonna go with armadillo lizard.
Oh, nice. It's a cool one. All right. Yay Sports or Boo Sports?
Oh, Yay Sports.
I knew that. Favorite sport?
Football.
Nice. Favorite football team?
Baltimore Ravens.
God damn it. All right. Favorite Raven player of all time?
Oh, Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
Gotta be Ray.
I was gonna do the dance. I was gonna be like, all right, hope dude, that guy, probably one of my favorite linebackers of all time was Ray Lewis. Talk about intimidation. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Steak or fish?
Oh, steak.
Favorite cut of steak?
Oh, filet. Medium rare, please.
Yay alcohol or boo alcohol?
Oh, yay alcohol in moderation.
Favorite alcohol beverage? Like what's something?
Oh, I'm an umbrella drink guy. So yeah, give me a Bahama Mama or something while I'm sitting on the bow of a cruise ship or something next to the pool.
I can just see you. I don't know why I can see you under the umbrella just with a nice fruity drink.
Oh no, the umbrella will be in the drink. I'll be sitting in the sun sipping that freaking. I'm not a beer drinker. I'm an umbrella drink guy.
Okay, West Coast rap or East Coast rap if you had to pick?
Damn, that's tricky. I'm gonna say in general West Coast rap, but man, Sugar Hill Gang all the way, number one.
Oh, there you go. That's roots right there. That's so awesome. All right, Van Halen or Sammy Hagar?
That's easy. Van Halen, freaking Diamond Dave, baby.
Thank you, man. All right, little word association. Say the first thing would come to mind. Milk.
Ice cream.
Substrate.
Chipper.
Morph Market.
Great tool.
Sunset.
Awesome with Ultramel.
Instagram trolls.
Fuck them. Who cares?
All right, last but not least, first thing to come to mind. Coolest reptile network in the world.
Oh, it's always the one you're on, isn't it? It's always the one you're on.
Damn.
So this
I'm a loyal guy, you know. I'm gonna just say it's the one I'm on.
All right,
that I get invited to. So
that was a pretty weak answer, but it's okay. I love you, Troy. All right, go, Amelia.
Yeah.
Why don't you say
All
yours?
right, so look, this is simple, man. One's got to go, and then I got something new for you at the end, okay?
One's got to go. Okay, so I'm voting for the one that's got to go.
All right, you're going to pick what's got to go out of the two, okay?
Oh, all right.
Cypress Gravel Hurricane Clown or Pompeii?
Pompeii.
Wow.
Okay.
Epic.
Hurricane or Asphalt?
Asphalt.
Wow.
All right, DG or Hypo?
Oh, fuck. DG.
Yes, I like that. Good energy.
Sunset or Monsoon?
Sunset all day and twice on Sunday.
Damn,
I thought you were a sunset lover, but okay.
I love Sunset. Oh, wait. I said the wrong one. Yeah, I'm picking Sunset. Monsoon's got to go.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, holy shit, he just flipped on Sunset right now.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I'm my bad. Yeah. Monsoon's got to go.
Hey, wait, go retract, Emilio. Make sure he got the other ones right.
Yeah.
Pompeii was got to go, right?
Pompeii got to go.
Gravel.
I'm keeping Hurricane.
Asphalt has to go.
You're
Okay.
keeping Hurricane?
I'm keeping Hurricane. Asphalt has to go.
Okay.
You're good. You're good.
Hurricane's my favorite codon.
All right, DG Exantic or True Ghost?
No, I'm taking Ghost.
Yeah.
As a keep.
Yeah.
DG to go.
Okay.
DG Exantic.
All right, and now I want you to rank these, okay? Sunset Lover. All right. This is new. This is a new little
rank it.
Something new. All right.
Rank it.
All right. I want you to rank these sunset combos. All right. DG Sunset, Lavender Sunset, Hypo Sunset, and Ultramel Sunset.
Ultramel Sunset 1, Hypo 2, Lav 3, because that thing was amazing. DG 4.
Bro, let me tell you something. Me and you agree fully.
Damn.
That's all I got.
I can't agree on that Sunset lineup. No thanks.
Yo, you got great
Sunset Ultramel. And man, I'm gonna throw another one in there that's right up there too. Is that Sunset Puzzle Brock Wagner made? Ooh, wait.
You're right. You know
beautiful.
what?
That shit's hard. You can't.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
Beautiful.
But I need to see better color down the road.
Yeah, that's why I'm literally I'm making my triple hats right now.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I want to see that extra bright gene in there, or that something to lighten it. That's all. It's an amazing animal. I love it. Okay.
Yep.
But I forgot that one.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, you did it, Troy. How do you feel, man? You got done with the hot seat questions.
I feel like long overdue, man. Like I've watched this show for a long time. I enjoy watching a lot of podcasts. You guys have had some of the absolute best of the best on this show, and it never disappoints. So
yeah, man.
But it was a great pleasure meeting you in person. Really, like kind of face to face, where we got to interact at the show. MJ, that was great. Hopefully I'll see you. Hopefully see you both in Daytona. You guys coming down to Daytona? I'll be vending again.
Yeah. Are you gonna? Do you go to Tinley at all? Do you mess with Tinley, Troy?
Oh, I'll be at Tinley. Yeah, I'll be at Tinley
in a couple weeks or whatever. Fuck.
Yeah. I vended last October. I'm not sure I'll be able to. It wasn't my table. I was able to vend somebody else's table at the last one. So not sure that's going to happen this time. But I will be there one way or another.
All right, I'll see you there. For people to be on top of all your stuff, is Instagram the most active place for you, Troy?
Absolutely, because I have a Facebook page. We're never on there, but our Instagram, I'm on there multiple times a day.
Cool.
So yeah, that's by far the best place.
I'll put the link to your Instagram description below. Go give him a follow, and can't wait to have you back on the show someday, man. But guys, do me a favor, get the likes up and give it up. It's a wrap for Troy, Balls and Strike Pythons, ladies and gentlemen.
Great to meet you, bro.
Thank you again, guys. Had a great time. Thank you again.
Thank you, Troy. Have a good night, man. See you next time, buddy. Peace. Cool guy, man. That was awesome. Yeah. Really good show.
Oh, yeah.
He's not messing around.
Yeah, he's done a lot in a short span. That's I think he's the way to go, man. I really like what he's done in the short time he's done it.
I'm really glad to hear how his show turned around. Like, not that he was complaining, but man, he was right. Like being at Bob's show in the thick of things with all those other vendors, heavy hitting vendors, you know what I mean? It could the pressure could get there, but the guy stood tall and he ended up fucking making enough to where it was more than his expectations expected for that whole weekend. And so, and I see like somebody like Troy who he's here for the long run. Like he's here to ride things out. And, listen, we need more people, but we need more people who are willing to ride shit out when things aren't always going their way, because it's not always going to go your way.
For sure.
But man, it's going to be an exciting place to be. Ball Python space is a good place to be right now, man. So what a good episode. Appreciate you tapping in, of course, Emilio. Guys, yeah, it was a really good one. So, but guys, do me a favor, go follow Emilio if you're not already for some odd reason. Villarino Reptiles. Subscribe to the V-Unit family on IG. It's a place to be, and I appreciate it so much. Guys, give it up. It's a wrap for Big E Top G.
Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Big E Top G. It's a wrap. Thank you so much for anyone out there who tapped in on tonight's episode. If this is your first time hanging out and you're not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. Been growing this channel organically for the last 6 years, and I appreciate all the support. And just to remind you, Trap Talk Reptile Network is the only reptile network that is 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. Do not miss a step, all right? Any of you chondro lovers out there are going to get your fix this week for sure, because we're chondro heavy this week. I got to tell you, tomorrow's going to be an epic episode for All in the Tree Tuesday. Dave D, one of the most heaviest designer green tree python breeders in the game, going to be talking a lot of the historical lineage that he has in his chondro projects. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about one of the guys killing it the most right now in the chondro game, Steven Saltzman, coming through for this Thursday, Elite Chondro Talk, okay? So, guys, go give him a follow right now, Cosmic Chondros. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be one for the books. And, of course, if you have not already, make sure you'll give tonight's guests a follow, Balls and Strike Pythons. What a good episode. Appreciate everyone who hung out tonight. Before we let you guys go, you know the deal. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Devin.
I'm Teresa, and we are Pragmors. We are based in Czech Republic, a small country in the middle of Europe.
We really love animals that revolve around multi-recessive projects, and one of our very favorites is Hypo. We're really looking forward to clutches that are coming this season, and some of those are Hypo Clown, DG Clown, Hypo DG Clown, and one of our all-time favorites, Hypo Puzzle.
Hope you enjoyed the next episode on Trap Talk, the greatest reptile network in the world.
If you guys want to see next level cutting edge ball python projects, please make sure you head over to their Instagram to follow all their amazing work. and head over to their website to see what they could possibly have available by heading over to progmorphs.com. Thank you again, Devin and Teresa, for bringing some of the biggest heat worldwide in the ball python game. One of the things I love the most about the reptile world is reptile businesses that are family oriented. I love the Rice Reptile family. Rice Reptiles have made quite the name for themselves over the last couple of years, rebranding themselves and also bringing amazing cutting edge, front of the line ball python projects that you must check out. Again, make sure you head over to their website, ricereptiles.net, Rice Family Reptiles on IG, to give them a follow, see what they have coming out. You can catch them vending at all major NARBC shows, Southeast Reptile Expo. A lot of great stuff coming from this family. So again, thank you so much, Billy, Don, over at Rice Reptiles. If you're in the ball python game in 2025, you know what you should be doing with your sheds, and that's turning them in to get them tested. That's right, no more POS hets, no more 66% hets. We can find out directly through today's sponsor, and that sponsor is Rare Genetic Inc. Thank you so much, Ben and Sean over at Rare Genetic Inc. Head over to their website, raregeneticinc.com, and head over to their YouTube channel and make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel. They put out a video every Wednesday to update you guys on new current events over at RGI. But I gotta tell you right now, very excited to continue my partnership over at Rare Genetic Inc. Head over to their Instagram account. Make sure you follow them on Instagram, subscribe, hit that notification bell on their YouTube channel. That way you're current on new announcements and anything that they got to update you with. Again, thank you so much, Rare Genetic Inc. RGI, you guys are the best student in the game. If you want to be organized, if you want to be cutting edge in the ball python game, then you don't want to miss this. Shout out to today's sponsor, and that's Clutch, #1 ball python organization app in the game. No better place to start off than by using this app. Clutch is an organization app that helps you organize all your ball python projects. It also helps your peers and your fellow community members look at what you possibly have coming for the upcoming ball python season, what you have currently available on Morph Market. It's so awesome to be ahead of the game by using organization app like Clutch. Thank you so much, the entire Clutch team, amazing team over at Clutch. If I were you, I would head over to Clutch's Instagram account, and I would also head over to their website, try it out, see how it works for you. But especially if you're just now coming into this, before you build your reptile collection, I would do it organized, and I would do it with Clutch. Thank you, Clutch, for being so amazing. Excited to hear what Clutch has to bring in the near future. Cheers.